What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chat HVAC. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chat HVAC, where we give you quick answers to your comfort questions. My name is Scott Jackson, and I'm with Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling. We are a residential HVAC business located in the Cincinnati area of Ohio. And today, we're taking on a topic that it's got a lot of buzz over the development of this product and over the last several years. We're talking about smart thermostats. You've probably seen the ads. You've probably heard the promises associated with them. Lower energy bills, total control from your phone, and a system that somehow learns your every move, knows when you're home, knows when you're not. But are smart thermostats really worth the investment, or are they just another piece of high-tech hype? The good news is I'm going to walk you through what these devices actually do and how they can save you money when used correctly, and when you might be better off sticking with a simple programmable thermostat. By the end of this episode, you will know whether a smart thermostat makes sense for your home or if it's just smart marketing. Now, before we dive into our subject matter today, I just want to go ahead and remind you to like this episode, subscribe to the show. If you're listening on a podcast platform like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, rate and review the show. Those things help us out tremendously. If you like what we're doing here at Chat HVAC and you want to support us in any way, shape, or form, those are the best ways that you can do that. And if you like this content, you find that it's helpful, follow the show, subscribe to the show if you're watching on YouTube. Those things help us out greatly. We would certainly appreciate that. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. What even is a smart thermostat? So, what a smart thermostat is we would define smart thermostat in the same way that you would define smart phone. It has lots of internet and Wi-Fi capabilities to where you're able to access things remotely via Wi-Fi connection. And that's kind of just the bare bones essence of a smart device. You have a smart TV and you're able to access the internet and streaming services and connect it to your Wi-Fi. You have smart phones. You can access the internet and social media, app stores, the browsers, those kinds of things. And smart thermostats, what you can do is they connect to Wi-Fi and they're able to talk to the rest of your smart devices and you're able to control them remotely, the same way that you would maybe a smart doorbell, like a Ring doorbell or a Nest doorbell or the Yale lock that's out there for your home, the deadbolt lock that you can get. All of these things are examples of smart devices, and this is what a smart thermostat would fall into as well. Popular examples of smart thermostats, you've got the Nest thermostat. That's probably the most widely known, probably right next to Ecobee, depending on where you're at and what your market is, or who you're around, what your social circle is. One of those two might be more popular. But there's a bunch of others, like Honeywell has smart thermostats, Lennox has smart thermostats, a bunch of other HVAC manufacturers have smart thermostats, so we're going to jump into all of that today. But these devices aren't just about adjusting the temperature. Something else that smart thermostats do is they gather data and they learn your routines. For example, if you wake up at about the same time every morning, say you get up at 6 a.m., you go downstairs, you turn the heat on. We're coming into winter. Depending on your climate, you turn the heat on or you turn the air conditioning on. And over time, the thermostat will learn, hey, Mr. or Mrs. homeowner comes downstairs, turns the thermostat on to this temperature at this time pretty consistently every day. I'm going to set a schedule for that so that they don't have to do that anymore. I'll do it for them. So essentially what it's going to do is it will learn your routines. It will learn when you're home and when you're not based on something called geofencing. So it uses the location services on your phone. If you have the thermostat app downloaded to your mobile device, it will use the location services that are built into that mobile device and know when you are within a certain radius of your house. Okay, or from the thermostat rather. So in theory, what this means is more comfort, lower bills, but does that actually happen? Let's find out. So the benefits when smart thermostats are worth it. Couple things to consider. There are some energy savings that are associated with smart thermostats. Just to give you guys a little bit of data, the EPA or the Environmental Protection Agency estimates up to a 10 to 12% savings on heating and a 15% savings on cooling with proper use. Another benefit that would make a smart thermostat worth it is convenience. So adjusting your temperature from anywhere. The next one would be insight. It can tell you your monthly energy reports. It can tell you how long your system's been running for and in what modes it's been running for. This is very helpful for customers who have heat pumps with electric backup heat. And you can actually pull a report from your smart thermostat, and it will let you know how long and at what times your electric heat has come on. Now that detailed report is more so prominent with your higher end, higher efficiency, higher quality smart thermostats like the Lennox S40 and things like that. Again, this is not an ad for Lennox. We're just a Lennox dealer. We have been for over 30 years, so we like to talk about their products. But it can give you some insight into how your system operates and if there's any patterns associated with your day, that kind of thing. And then the final thing would be maintenance alerts. So most, this isn't exclusive to smart thermostats. Most programmable thermostats now just have a timed reminder for maintenance reminder or filter reminder or humidifier pad reminder, those kinds of things. But smart thermostats are able to do that as well. And you can even program it to only remind you if you've reached this amount of time of actual operation time, that kind of thing. But in short, if you travel a lot or you have an unpredictable schedule, a smart thermostat can genuinely save you money. Or if you don't travel a lot and you have a very predictable schedule, the thermostat can be an incredibly convenient tool for you to where it can automatically set your thermostat to the temperatures that you want it to be at specific times of the day. It adjusts automatically, so you are not heating or cooling an empty home. Or if you're like me and there's somebody in the house all day long, you can keep the house at a decent comfort level consistently. So the drawbacks: when are smart thermostats not worth the investment? So upfront cost in a smart thermostat is probably the biggest hurdle that homeowners run into. Especially, it's the biggest hurdle that I run into as a technician presenting these to homeowners. With installation, if you have a professional company install them like us, it's definitely going to run you more because you have to pay for installation. You're probably going to be in the $600 to $900 ballpark for your more basic smart thermostat installation. This includes setting it up, connecting it to your Wi-Fi, helping you download the app on your phone, getting it connected, making sure that it's all operating properly. If you were to just buy a smart thermostat on your own, typical upfront cost is about $150 to $300. That's not hidden information. You can find smart thermostats on Amazon. There are sometimes compatibility issues with older HVAC systems. The biggest compatibility problem that I see out there, and it's definitely the biggest potential for issues, is sometimes homeowners have to run a new thermostat wire between their furnace and their thermostat, because there's not enough conductors. A lot of smart thermostats nowadays need what's called a C wire, or the common wire, which is basically just a terminal that allows you to pull power directly from the furnace. So you have your 24-volt hot wire, your R wire, the red wire typically. And if you put a C wire on it, which is essentially grounding the wires, you're completing the circuit and you're able to get power from your indoor unit, whether it's a furnace or an air handler or what have you. But if you don't have this, your thermostat's most likely battery powered, and there's not many battery powered thermostats out there that are the smart variety, or if there are, the battery doesn't last very long. That's what I've run into with the Nest thermostat, for example. So another drawback is you can have kind of an over-reliance on Wi-Fi and apps. Now, this isn't necessarily a drawback unless you're leaving the house a lot and you're in a position to where you can't access your phone to control your thermostat. Or if you somehow, I don't know of any thermostats like this that exist, but that's not to say they don't. If you somehow purchase a thermostat that didn't have like a digital screen or a digital readout, and it was just kind of mounted to the wall, and your only way to interface with the thermostat was on your phone, that could be a problem. But I feel like that was more of a problem several years ago. And then the fourth drawback would be to set it and forget. It doesn't always work. So the thermostat does have some learning curves and things like that. Or when you get used to your thermostat adjusting to your routines on a daily basis. And then if you have something that's out of the routine, that could cause a potential problem because the thermostat won't pick up on that right away. Okay, so the biggest myth about smart thermostats, honestly, is that they'll just magically make your energy bills drop. They can make your energy bills drop, but only if they're being used correctly. And if your HVAC system is running efficiently in the first place, which you should call Comfort Solutions to come out and evaluate that for you. Pressing on here to the fourth topic for today. So, are they worth it? We've talked about situations in which they could be beneficial. We've talked about situations in when they might not be beneficial, but are they worth it? Honestly, the verdict depends on your lifestyle, depends on your HVAC system, and depends on what you're wanting to accomplish. Who smart thermostats are really great for? Tech-savvy users. If you're like me and you like to have smart access to your devices on your phone, this is a great product for you. You know, there's lots of brands out there that are developing a variety of these they're developing a variety of these smart devices. And what's really handy is you can just use it all in the same application, depending on what brand of product you choose. And lots of them have thermostats, smart locks, smart doorbells, smart cameras, water sensors, those kinds of things. And having a smart home, so to speak, is much easier now than it was 20 years ago. Also, people who have variable schedules, if you just want to be able to look at your thermostat or have control of your thermostat while you're away from the house, this is the only way that you can do that, essentially. So having a Wi-Fi or smart enabled thermostat. And then other people that it's great for is homeowners focused on long-term savings. So I would say this also kind of falls into people looking for the routine of schedule, things like that. You don't have to constantly go to your thermostat and turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on if you're leaving the house to go to work and coming home. Somebody else that I think this is a good investment for is if I know lots of people are getting into like rental properties and things like that now. If you own some rental properties or you own maybe like another house or something like, or you do an Airbnb or something like that, having a smart thermostat is helpful because you are able to, if you want to set like temperature restrictions, like some people in the summer will set it to where you can't set the thermostat any lower than 65 in the summer, or you can't set it any warmer than 75 degrees in the winter. You can kind of have like some guardrails of how high or how low people can turn the thermostat. You can also see, like if somebody's not there at the moment, you can shut it off remotely. You don't have to go there to turn it off. So they're really a matter of convenience, especially for those types of people. People who might want to skip out on smart thermostats. If you're home most of the time, you probably don't have a use for it. Just because you're home all the time, you don't need to control it remotely. If you prefer simplicity, you don't want it to connect to Wi-Fi, you don't want to have all of these technical features, that's fine. You're probably not the right person for a smart thermostat. That's okay. And then finally, your HVAC system is extremely old or potentially incompatible. That might be something where you upgrade to a smart thermostat later on in the future. But if you love tech and you're the kind of person who checks on your phone before adjusting the thermostat, go for it. But if you want to be comfortable without any learning curves or app updates or software updates or firmware updates, a basic programmable model might be your best choice. So as we're getting out of here for today, some quick takeaways. Smart thermostats can save you money if they're used properly. Secondly, always check HVAC compatibility before buying a smart thermostat. I would check to make sure you have a common wire. I would check to make sure your thermostat wire isn't old and broken. Those are some precautions and some kind of like smart steps to take in the beginning before you go out and purchase this expensive smart thermostat that may or may not work with your application. Also, don't ignore setup. It takes some time to learn the features, go through the proper setup on your device, make sure it's connected to Wi-Fi, make sure it's reporting properly, make sure that you've gone through the proper setup and making sure that everything is working properly in that regard. And then finally, the final takeaway for today is maintenance still matters. Technology does not fix mechanical issues. So you might have a thermostat problem, so you buy a smart thermostat. That will fix that problem. But if you have a mechanical problem with your HVAC system, maintenance still matters. Buying a Nest thermostat is not going to automatically make your system the most efficient it's ever been, and you're just never going to have to worry about regular routine maintenance. The smartest thermostat in the world would not help you if your ductwork is leaking or your filter doesn't get changed, things like that. So use this technology within the confines that it's meant to be used. So on that note, thanks for joining me today on Chat HVAC, where we give you quick answers to your comfort questions. I do hope that this episode helped shed some light on smart thermostats, when they really make a difference and when good old-fashioned thermostats might do just fine. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend or a neighbor who's been thinking about upgrading their thermostat. I feel like it's a lot of us lately. And don't forget to leave us a quick review. It really helps more homeowners find the show. Next time on Chat HVAC, we are going to be talking about top 5 signs that your furnace is about to fail. Might be relevant, especially coming into the wintertime. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here for today. We appreciate you all watching and listening. And go ahead, like, rate, review the show. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. We certainly appreciate all of you. We'll see you next time.